to another episode of Millionaires Are Made, where we believe you can grow to be a millionaire in all 6 aspects of health. That's right. Every Wednesday, we share tips on how to improve your physical, mental, spiritual, intellectual, obviously your financial, and even more importantly, your social health. Today, we are focusing on how to improve your social health with community. If you have never seen Millionaires Are Made, this is the show built on the fundamental beliefs that every person you meet knows something you don't, and there's something to be learned from everyone in this big, beautiful world. Here at Millionaires Are Made, we are on a mission to teach the world how to grow into the healthiest, happiest millionaires in all 6 aspects of life. They say it's all about teaching a man to fish, and we take that literally here. So we went out and got 3 awesome guests to give 3 awesome tips on how to improve your social health with community. In the spirit of authenticity, we do not talk about tips before our guests go live on air. So when they tell you their advice, it's going to be our first time hearing them as well. Audience, this is an interactive show, so please feel free to ask questions and drop comments. We will ask them live on air to our guests and get your answers right away. If you want to be a guest on our show, we have a goal of having 8 billion people be guests because everyone's got something to share, right? We're dropping the link right now. Please check it out and come be a guest. We'd love to have you. And as far as we have tons of shows and lots of topics, but we always want new ideas. So if you might be feeling a little lost, maybe you're struggling financially, physically, or spiritually, shoot us a topic. We'll go out and find 3 awesome guests to give 3 tips on how to help you through that little rut in life. Real quick, we're going to do a shout out for some of our followers. Yeehaw! We love to help you guys grow, and we like when you guys are followers. On YouTube, we've got Ben Thinking About Your Health. We have Sarah on TikTok, Bonnie on Facebook, and on Instagram we have Lori. And a couple of announcements we're going to have real quick. We now have courses available. We hit the top 100 Apple Podcasts in our first 2 years, first 200 episodes. And so now we are trying to help you do the same. If you're interested in our course, we're dropping that link right now. We also have new merch. We have our infamous shirts. Grab a merch, support the mission. Let's make the world a better place. And our biggest announcement yet is we are coming out with yet another show. It will also be a live show called Billionaires Are Made, where we will take guests from Millionaires Are Made and go more in depth with their knowledge and learn more and teach more. That will be launching in the next month or so, so stay tuned for Billionaires Are Made. Before we bring out our first guests, we'll go over some of our sponsors, because without sponsors, we would not have the show at all, so thank you so much. Please check them out and support them. First, we have Sarah Jones. Sarah was buried in debt with her failing marriage, and at some point, they stopped listening to their finances. There we go. So Sarah and her husband became a financial coach, and they help guide individuals and small businesses to build fun, healthy money habits. Check her out right now. Our next sponsor is the Parent Win Solutions. Parenting is tough, and nobody warns you that half of it is just guessing. So Parent Win Solutions is the partner you wish you had on day one. No lesson plans to memorize and no videos to binge, just simple steps that cut stress and help you connect with your child without losing your mind. Go check out Parent Win Solutions. Our next sponsor is Bonnie Hartle. Bonnie is a women's empowerment coach in Atlanta, Georgia, that has an awesome Airbnb that she hosts lots of retreats in, specializes in mindset, gratitude, and personal development using a very unique approach, combining her own vision board strategy and the wheel of life. Go check Bonnie out. And our final sponsor for this segment of the show is Brian Wright. Brian is amazing. If you want to publish your book or need help editing it, he's the guy to do. If you want to get your brand in front of high-level entrepreneurs and personal growth leaders, check out Brian at the Ultimate Achievers magazine. And without further ado, we will bring out our first guest. His name is Damon. Damon, tell us, who are you?
Hey, thank you for having me on the show. My name is Damon Graywall. I'm one of the co-founders at logisticsales.com, which is a free learning and educational platform where our motto is anyone can be financially free. It's a choice, regardless of your background, regardless of where you live, regardless of your financial situation. But it's a choice, and financial freedom is available for everybody. So
Man, that
that's
mission aligns. Go ahead.
yeah, so that's where I'm an entrepreneur. I always wish I had a mentor, and I always wish people would just do business the right way, business ethics. And so that's what we try to teach on the platform. And it's a personal mission of mine because I always wish someone would help me along the way, and there was programs like this that would exist to be able to elevate all of us up.
And Damon, we have almost the exact same mission here at Millionaires Are Made. And I've been through the same thing going, wow, I failed 7 billion times. If I had one person that could have lowered it to 6 billion times, I would have been successful so much faster. So we're going to have to go check that out and go get involved with you guys. Huge mission. Love it. Financial freedom. It's definitely a choice and everyone should have it. Um, Gosh, we could talk. I could no tangents. We must continue, but we'll talk about this in the future. How difficult it is to get the mentality of people to believe that statement, rather than just thinking that they just need an extra 25 cents an hour to make it. But let's go on to something more important. Damon, if I wanted to improve my social health with community, what
Mhm.
tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Well, when it comes to social community, be careful about the community that you choose to participate in because the right one will take you up and the wrong one can take you down. And
That is huge. Go ahead,
so
keep
we
going.
yeah, definitely we take a look at it almost like as a team. So in a team, anytime you participate, you're only as strong as your weakest link. And I believe that a good community is one where it's able to help lift you up. And being as a being in a community, it's about what's coming into our minds, what are we allowing to come in, and how do we want to feel when we do participate in that type of community. And community is our environment, whether that's our phones, right? It could be what we're consuming, whether it's music, sounds, anything. But our environment is our community, and that's where we want people to just be a little bit careful about what we choose to participate in.
It's huge. Where in your life journey did you learn this advice?
Through several businesses and business battles that I've been through, but and we see it just so often nowadays, and a lot of it goes kind of back to whether what's happening in our communities. And I see this with people all the time, especially when we're going through training, is people's mindsets. Again, if you're around people that say that I can and I will, people will be able to raise you up along your journey. But if you're around negativity or into comparison of, hey, that person has a Range Rover 1912, or that person has this and I need this too. So people get into this comparison mentality, or they start building mountains out of molehills instead of taking
Yeah.
small steps. They think it becomes overwhelming because they're getting all the wrong information. And especially that stuff can happen when you go into different community groups and you see, well, hey, people are way further than I am. And so what we want to do is just kind of take that approach and say, well, in a good community, they're going to take the weakest person and really, nurture that person into the place that they need to get to step by step. And it's not overwhelming. It's a place where somebody would feel comfortable and somebody would feel good about, hey, I'm glad to participate here. And especially on a mission like the one that's on this podcast, millionaires are made, and millionaires are made when they have good support and good community around them. And so, props to you for putting on this type of show and program where, and I could tell even backstage with the other guests, great people, right? Very, very lovely people. I could feel the compassion from them already. And so when you have people like that are surrounding you, you're only gonna grow from there. And that's what we want for everybody that's watching this show to be able to grow and to know that there's someone there that cares and loves you and is there to support you in the way that you need to be supported.
Man, Damon, I love it. It's like you went through the same struggles and had almost the same solution. I love it. Um, we're gonna move on to our next guest, and we'll bring you back on the round robin. Hopefully, we can get to it before you have to go. Next up, we will have Leo. Leo, tell us, who are you?
Hey, thanks for having me on the show. My name is Leo Young. I'm the founder and managing partner of Cornell Communities. We operate and revitalize manufactured housing communities to provide affordable housing to working class Americans and give our investors recession resilient returns for making our vision possible.
Nice. All right. Recession proof. Oh, that's a tough word. All right. Well, let's go with this. Leo, if I wanted to improve my social health with community, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
So I will go off the road of being obvious here. And instead of people thinking about what can your community do for you, I challenge you to think of what you can do for your community in the sense that
All right. All
how are
right.
you how are you improving the community and others around you? And we do so by allowing people to invest in affordable housing and provide a useful service to the economy. I think that this was a big kind of mental um, framework that I had to understand. You know, the most wealthy people in the world, they're super philanthropic, and like, why are they doing that? Right? They're putting their money, they're putting their resources towards causes that they care about.
I love it. Okay. Do you want to elaborate? Actually, you know what? I think this next question is going to be great. Where on your life journey did you learn this tip?
You know, I was very fortunate. So I've been in real estate for about a decade now, you know, as an investor, as a broker, and also working for a fund. And just through my journey, I was fortunate enough to talk to a lot of people of different sizes, right? I mean, different backgrounds and socioeconomics and different perspectives. And I think talking to a lot of successful people, like monetarily successful people, and seeing how they view things, I think that changed the way that I looked at things. Because you know, I came from like a working class family, like kind of regular mindset, but they were like, well, how am I allocating my resources? You know, money is just a resource, like your time, like your effort, like your energy. So you know, some people, they might organize a get together. Meanwhile, other people will fund the get together and make it possible. So that kind of opened my eyes to how the truly successful people view things.
I love it. That's awesome. All right, Leo, we're going to bring you back out in the round robin. We'll try to get to our next guest here. And we'll see you in just a second. Next up, we have Steven. Steven, tell us, who are you?
Thank you for having me on Millionaires Made. I'm Stephen McConnell, founder and CEO of Growth Mindset Initiative, and I'm a writer. I am a coach, and Growth Mindset Initiative is a firm that is coaching and consulting for communities, for teams, and for individuals to encourage personal mastery first.
Okay. You ready for the next question, Steven?
Absolutely.
All right. If I wanted to improve my social health with community, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
The tiny piece of advice I would give you is what creates the, a community that is greater than the sum, and that is the individuals. Leo and Damon also hit on that, but the individuals have to be on this personal mastery journey, not in security, not in fear.
That's true. Well, here's the tough question. How do you get an entire community to buy in on that?
Well, that is precisely it. If you're looking at, depending upon the size of the community, right? The size of the community, if you're looking at a family or a team within a corporate or corporation in and of itself, or a whole city, it starts with the correct things of the correct, external education, but also the foundational desire to grow and know yourself. So you have to have the clarity, you have to have alignment within yourself, you have to know your values so that when you go to the community itself, you're not giving to burn yourself out. You're giving out of your strength selflessly. And so, how do you do that? You have to foster through education, through everything, foster this ability that we are um, able to generate our own personal mastery. Sayings like, there is no I in team. Well, that's a contingent staying. You have to understand that the individual must be there secure first. So, talking about culture within a community, the culture has to be set up structurally so that the eyes in the team are greater than the community itself, that they bring in the strength to contribute selflessly without burning out.
I love it. Stephen, where on your life journey did you learn this advice?
Oh, 30 years of corporate, mostly in manufacturing, high pressure environments, learning the system base of KPIs and building and so forth like that. Going out of that corporate manufacturing experience and into neurolinguistic programming coaching, I learned to tie systematically the emotional, metalogical side to the logical side for personal mastery. I then was able to see all the different dynamics that a fear-based, insecure culture was creating within me, creating within my own journey, creating with everybody else. A lot of times you see a lot of politics. Those politics is seeking validation, is manipulation, is me before you. And that's all fear-based. And so I've learned this along my journey through my experiences, my personal history of how I became a coach and grow as well. So
Awesome. I love it, Stephen. All right. The time has come to bring everyone out for the round robin. Audience, this is a great time to give us questions or comments or anything you want to say. Real quick, there is one comment out here for Damon. We'll bring Leo and Damon back out and let's get this going. Damon, can you quickly refresh what your tip was for us?
So when it comes to social health, be careful about the community that you choose to participate in, because the right one will take you up and the wrong one might just take you down.
Leo, what are your thoughts on that tip?
I agree. It's very important to surround yourself with the right energy because it changes the way that you view things and the language that you use yourself. And the language that you use yourself will shape your reality.
And Stephen, what are your thoughts?
absolutely agree. You need to find your own tribe, the one that raises you up. For me, a lot of times, for me, it was Toastmasters. For me, it was a lot of other things. In that way, you find mentors that raise you up. You can be also selflessly a mentor. And this is exactly the roots of a community.
All right, we're going to talk about, we got a long comment from the audience here. Billy says, I would say this advice from Stephen matches my experience. Fear-based, insecure cultures do not lead to high-performing teams. Creating a culture of safety, autonomy, and growth has led to considerable results. My teams are much higher performing for that. Stephen, what are your thoughts? Response.
I love you empower the individual to be on the journey of personal mastery within each team with the vision of what the team or the community is supposed to be aligned with. So as a leader, you are on this authentic leadership journey. You bring the passion, but then you empower each individual within their own strengths. I love that comment. Thank you, Billy Ross.
Damon or Leo, you guys want to respond in any way?
Yeah, I mean, there's a stat from the World Economic Forum that talks about what some of this culture brings into like high performance teams, and it says like depression and anxiety, when you have this sort of negativity around you, it costs the global economy almost about $1 trillion US every year. And so again, the importance of going into productivity and again increasing your self-worth. What's that costing you on a year-to-year basis? And again, if it's your team
Wow.
and you're an entrepreneur or a business owner, what's that costing your team if you don't have that right culture, right community in your workplace?
And to add to that too,
Go ahead.
I think Scarcity is the mindset of what can the world do for you? What can you take from the world? What can you take from others? Meanwhile, abundance is the opposite. It's what can you give to the world? How can you contribute? So it is important, and sometimes it is hard to put yourself in that mindset, but when you start giving, it just feels bad. It feels great, and you get better at it.
And I think Stephen and Leo both are kind of saying this, where when you typically enter into a community, it's okay to take a little bit in the beginning. But I think there's a point where we try to build ourselves up and the community carries you up, where you get to a point where you can give back. And that's, again, the place of satisfaction, and the place where you're going to feel your best is when you're in a place of giving. And you get to that point, but it's okay to have small steps. Take from the community what you need, because it's about raising people up and getting people healthy enough that they can give.
I
I
love it. I
absolutely
love your
agree. Part of that, part of being a community is part of the being in a community is you're receiving something, but you're also contributing through your strengths, and that's where the community absolutely grows to be the greater sum than the individual parts. I love that. Thank you.
To add to it, there's a saying that I live by from an early age, which is take what you need, then give what you can, because you can't fill others' cups when yours is not full. So, yes, there is a give and take. It's not all give. So, figuring what that is out, and also making sure that you're net positive.
That's huge.
And
Always leave a profit. All right, we got another response from Billy to you guys. My job is to ensure the strategy and vision is clear and the team knows the value proposition, allowing them to challenge the value proposition and to participate in full understanding further drives our autonomy. As a leader, it makes my job so much easier when each I in the team is self-motivated and driven towards the goal instead of awaiting my direct instruction to achieve results. You can only get that with the folks that are healthy and comfortable within themselves and the team. Whew, we're getting in there, guys. How you feeling about that? Damon just thumbs up. Steven, what are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. Absolutely is the golden standard as far as I'm concerned with communities and in teams. And really what Billy Ross is describing is this empowerment. He guides them, but you also hire in a corporation, you hire so that they either have a great attitude so that they're going to be empowered, or you look for ways to fit into that puzzle to build the community stronger as the leader. So yeah, absolutely agree.
Leo, your thoughts?
So your role as a leader is to drive the boat. Is to drive the boat forward. That's your vision. And a boat's strength isn't tested in calm waters, it's tested in harsh waters. So you should welcome people to challenge you to a healthy extent so that you get closer to the truth rather than saying my way or the highway. So allowing that is helpful, but also
Yep.
don't detract from the productivity. If there's too much internal argument, then that detracts from your ultimate priority. You need people to focus on the same goal and drive the boat forward.
Awesome. Anyone else want to add anything, or should we move on to our daily challenge?
I think, yeah, Leo and Stephen nailed it.
Awesome. All right, let's move in to our daily challenge. This is a task and or series of tasks. It takes less than 5 minutes a day, costs $0, is available to everyone in the world, that helps us improve our social health with communities. What do you guys have to suggest?
I can go first on this one, but I would just say as a
Let's do
small
it.
challenge, for anybody that's watching, take the next step of saying, hey, if I'm watching this program, what can I do to get myself into the next community? Pick anything
That's
that may
beautiful.
be of interest. And again, this whole podcast is about how to balance ourselves out in life. So take a look at what part of life you want to balance. Find a community that
Huge.
matches that, and don't just try one community. I'm going to challenge you to try 5 different communities to see which one fits best for you. and which one makes you feel good after you join it and are able to participate in it. And you don't necessarily have to participate, but at least go there to listen and see what it's all about. And it's all about expanding our mindsets and saying, hey, what else is waiting out there for me to take me to my next level, and just try it. And if you're a little bit more advanced, try some more advanced communities and see, wherever you are on that journey, it's all about that small step. If you can take one small step, it's going to add up, and you're going to be an amazing person, a year down, 2 years down, 5 years down the road.
Let's see if we have a little tip on that. How do we join a new community?
Communities, first thing, go online. There's a bunch of meetups that are happening even in local communities. So even like Toastmasters is a global community that can be found anywhere across the globe, multiple continents, multiple areas. If you don't want to go into public speaking, or you don't want to go into that type of community, then find something. Go to a rec center, a rec center for sports. You can go into business communities. There's so many online that you could join. A dime a dozen, right? There's it's endless of where you can find these communities. And whether it's in your local neighborhood, or whether you want to explore internationally in a different country, everything's so accessible because we live in a global community. And that's the beauty of today's technology. I'm sitting now on the West Coast in Vancouver, BC. I know you're over on the East Coast, and coast to coast, where we're having this conversation.
Yeah, and I would almost encourage. So each day, I'm in the daily challenge. I'm going to say, find a new community you want to join each day. So that's 7 total. But I would almost say mix it up. Find one online, find one locally, find one for one of your hobbies, find one for your business niche. Every day, find a different community in a different way. And holy cow, you're going to find some serious social health improvements. Leo or Steven, you guys got anything you want to add to the daily challenge?
Sure. I'll add one. So my challenge to the audience is to do the 3x3 challenge. So you write down 3 causes that you care about, and you ask yourself, why does that matter to me? And you ask yourself that 3 times. So as an example, if I care about affordable housing, why does that matter to me? Well, I want to provide affordable housing to Americans. Why does that matter to me? Because I want people to feel like housing is not a life or death situation. Why does that matter to me? Right? And that will allow you to understand yourself much better, and how you can better allocate your time and attention to fulfill the causes that you care about, truly.
I mean, you really could just do that even with the new community. You find a new community. Why do I want to join it? Why does that matter to me? Why does that matter to me? Why does that matter to me? I like that. That's a good self-introspective way to really find out why you do things. Fantastic. Anything else anyone wants to add to the daily challenge, or should we wrap it up right there?
I gotta quickly take off, but thank you so
Yeah,
much,
I'd like
everybody.
to.
Appreciate it. Sorry.
All right.
Go ahead.
Thanks, Damon. Have a good one. Steven, let's hear from you.
Take care. I would like to, add to that. The challenge to the audience would be more of a question. Have you done the inner work required to build the self-awareness so that you can contribute selflessly to the community? This goes back to something that Leo had said, is ask not what the community can do for you, but what you can do for the community. And in this way, do that inner work. I mean, this is what my book, The 7 Laws of Personal Mastery's foundation on, is self-awareness. And I think Leo also touched on self-awareness. So I absolutely agree. I challenge that they ask the question, have I done the work required to contribute to the communities I'm in?
All right, we do have a little time. I'm going to ask you a follow-up question on that. So if you're about to join a community, now you're asking yourself if you've done the work. How big of a deterrent is that to join the community, especially with like force of average and scarcity mindset and imposter syndrome? Now, not only are some people scared to join, and I think that's worse even now with COVID, right? Everyone wants to sit at home and We have massive depression and loneliness and isolation since we were basically forced into it for a couple years. It's now harder than ever, I think, especially doing the show, to join and to be with one another. And so now it sounds like you're adding another layer about doing the work. So my question would be, how can we help people that may be isolated and lonely and scared to join a community to know how to do the work quickly so that they can join communities faster? That was a long-winded question. Hopefully it made sense.
So yeah, I think that, like for instance, when I first joined Toastmasters, I recommend Toastmasters. When I first joined them, it was for me to begin to publicly speak. I found leadership, mentorship, I found structure, all of these different things. So what you're asking is what does it take to join? That's the self-work right there. Once you start to join, you find those mentors that guide you. The self-work is, I would say, the first 5 to 10 minutes of whatever you're getting ready to do is where the fear is strongest the most, the pain is the most. And so whatever you want to address, you have to go into it understanding that you have to get through the pain to grow. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah. No, that's huge. Awesome. I think that's a great end to this show. Obviously, I feel like we spurred quite a few more shows we could have with the conversations, but we're going to wrap it up right there. We have a daily challenge. We discussed a lot of tips, had a great audience engagement. Thank you so much, Leo and Steven. I'm going to put you backstage and I'm going to wrap it up here real quick. And thank you to everyone watching. Hopefully you learned quite a lot about communities and social help. I love social help, especially since COVID. I think it's a massive one that gets overlooked just about everywhere. Learn a lot about communities. Make sure you go follow our guests. Go check them out. Send them a DM.